Two-division world champion Rafael Marquez returning to the ring against Efrain Esquivias in a 10-round featherweight contest. Morrow, take it away.
All right, BK, former two-division champion Rafael Marquez solidified his status as a consummate warrior thanks to his legendary rivalry with Israel Vasquez. But since evening the four-fight series with his Mexican compatriot, the 38-year-old Marquez has gone just 2-3. However, retirement hasn't crossed his mind, and he's back with Hall of Fame trainer Nacho Beristain as he hopes to make one last run at a championship. Meanwhile, his opponent Efrain Esquivias hopes to derail those plans and claim the biggest victory of his career here in his native California, where the 2006 National Golden Gloves champion at 119 pounds has fought exclusively as a pro. Checking out the numbers for this opening contest.
Well, for Rafael Marquez, he has a reach advantage, but the question is, will he use it? He likes to fight on the inside, but that key number is age 38. Can he still be effective at this point?
And the California rules for our first bout: there is no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. The referee or doctor can stop the fight. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round. If an accidental foul or headbutt causes a fight to end before the start of the 4th round, it's a technical draw. After the start of the 4th round, they will go to the scorecards for a technical decision. We are ready for our first bout, so let's go into the ring for the official introductions from our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you and welcome to Fantasy Springs Resort Casino here in Indio, California. As we have a big night of action coming away, and it's all brought to you by Golden Boy Promotions and Showtime. Sponsored by Corona, La Cerveza Más Fina, and AT&T, the nation's fastest and now most reliable 4G LTE network. This bout is presented in conjunction with Thompson Boxing Promotions. Introducing our 3 judges, all from the state of California. From Mesa, Pat Russell. From Baldwin Park, Fernando Villarreal. And from Chula Vista, Fritz Werner. Presenting our 3rd man to the ring, the referee in charge, Rafael Marquez Jr. All right, fans, here we go. 10 rounds of boxing scheduled in a featherweight special attraction. Introducing to you first on my right, he is fighting out of the red corner, wearing white trunks with gold trim, fighting out of and representing his home of Carson, California. He weighed in at the featherweight limit of 126 pounds. His record of 16 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw. He has 9 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former NABF Super Bantamweight champion, introducing Efrain Esquivias. And his opponent across the ring on my left, fighting out of the blue corner in this 10-round attraction, wearing black trunks with green trim, hailing from Mexico City, Distrito Federal, Mexico. He weighed in the same as his opponent, 126 pounds. His record stands at 41 wins, 8 losses, with 37 big wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, making his return to the ring, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former IBF Bantamweight World Champion and the former WBC Super Bantamweight Champion of the World, introducing Rafael Marquez. Once again, a referee in charge, now to give instructions, Rafael Marquez Jr.
Fighter chief second only, please. Protector. Let's go, friend. Chief second, please. Mouthpiece. All right, gentlemen, you received the instructions in the dressing room. It is now clear what I expect. Ya recibieron las instrucciones, quiero una pelea limpia. Legal punches for here on up. Touch gloves, good luck to both of you. Buena suerte los dos.
So we are set for 10 rounds or less in the featherweight division. Rafael Marquez back in the boxing ring for the first time in 11 months, coming off a 9th round knockout in his last fight last October against former junior bantamweight champ Christian Mijares. Meanwhile, Esquivias is coming off a 2nd round technical draw against Victor Sanchez in his last fight on June 28th. That was stopped due to a cut.
Box.
As a result of an accidental headbutt, the bell and round 1 underway. Marquez in the green with black trunks. Esquivias sports the white with gold.
Esquivias is normally a slow starter, and of course Rafael Marquez is notoriously a quick starter, so we'll see how that plays out.
Interesting point out, because yesterday Marquez had also talked about trying to remain composed and calm, so it'll be interesting to see if he goes back to his old ways or if he tries to establish some sort of jab and try to remain calm and pick up the pace as each round goes along, like he told us he would yesterday.
Yeah, he says he starts fast but has faded down the stretch, and he hopes that working once again with Hall of Fame trainer Nacho Batistine is going to help that cause. So we shall see, as the opening minute of this bout has Esquivias going downstairs to the body, shoots out the right, and lands a left hand and a nice right hand to the head of Marquez. So a good 1-2 combination by Esquivias.
Esquivias is a busy fighter. He's not a huge puncher, but his work rate is good in the ring, and he hopes that is one of the things that could carry him here. And so far early in this match, he's throwing a lot of punches.
Left hook to the body by Marquez, but it was immediately countered by an overhand right by Esquivias that landed flush.
One thing to keep in mind, Esquivias has found a home for that right hand a couple of times now in the first minute and a half. Be interesting to see if Marquez can make an adjustment, because you don't want to get hit with too many of those clean, straight right hands.
Double jab by Marquez. Gets through the high guard of Esquivias. Again lands the jab, grazing off the face. There's Esquivias countering with a straight right through the guard. Another stiff jab by Marquez. Under a minute remaining in the first round.
Stop! Break! No punch. Here we go. Box.
Uppercut by Marquez, and finishes a nice 3-punch combination with a right hand.
And that all started because Esquivias kind of leaned down too far and reached out with that jab to the body. It's a good weapon to mix that jab up and down, but you don't want to reach with it.
Another stiff right uppercut by Marquez.
And that's a punch Esquivias has been subject to or vulnerable to in the past.
30 seconds left in the opening round. A good start here between Marquez and Esquivias. Lead right hand by Marquez. Another right hand, and this time comes back with the left uppercut.
It's all about Esquivias getting through these first couple of rounds. And Marquez has been very effective toward the end of this round.
Esquivias just missed the right cross, but plenty of action to begin the proceedings in this featherweight fight from the Fantasy Springs Casino in Indio, California.
Good right hand at the belt by Esquivias.
We look at the keys to victory for these fighters. First of all, for Marquez, he doesn't really want to brawl, and he didn't do that in the first round. Establish distance, he did that very effectively. And the right is right. Instead of cranking up left hooks, the right hand is very effective for him, although the left was a good weapon in the first round as well. As for Esquivias, he wants to be physical on the inside, where he can push the older man around a little bit, and the body punching would be effective. He hasn't gotten there yet. And even though he's not a huge left hooker, that's the punch that can land against Rafael Marquez. He's going to have to dust that off at some point.
Let's go. Second go.
The bell in round 2. Marquez has recorded 16 of his 37 wins by way of knockout in the first 2 rounds. Esquivias has 2 knockout victories in the first 2 rounds.
We talked about Marquez reuniting with Nacho Beristain, but for Esquivias, he's back with Dennis Hefner, who was his trainer and coach a long time ago. And Hefner said, you know, we want to try and add some dimension to what he's been doing. He's been just walking straight in against fighters who want to give it a little more nuance.
Which makes me wonder, Paulie, why leave a trainer in the first place if you're eventually going to come back to him again? Is it just to mix things up?
Well, you know, a lot of times maybe you think the grass is greener on the other side, and sometimes it is, and sometimes it's not. You know, for Efrain Esquivias, you know, he felt that going back to his original trainer was the best thing for him. You know,
and Marquez as well, going back to Bear stuff.
Situations vary, and sometimes it's greener on the other side, and sometimes not. Like I said, you know, Esquivias though is not just a guy who just showed up as an opponent. I mean, this is a guy who had a good amateur pedigree, a former national Golden Gloves champion back in 2006. So, you know, he's not just a guy who showed up for a payday either. At one time, you know, there was some things expected of this guy. He's looking to get back on that track.
But he's becoming target practice here as Marquez has landed a nice right uppercut, a right hand, and Esquivias is right there to be hit.
And it's only 2 losses to a former or future champion in Jonathan Romero and also Rico Ramos.
And earlier tonight, Rico Ramos in the 10th round, a thunderous knockout win over the previously undefeated Carlos Velasquez, but Esquivias going downstairs to the body. Marquez putting together a nice combination upstairs.
I'm going to stand corrected for the moment. The left hook's been a great weapon for Marquez, but I will stick by my guns a little bit. If he throws that too much, he'll be countered by Esquivias with his left hook. But it's been a very good punch for Marquez, and he has power in it.
1 minute remaining in the second round, and a big advantage for Marquez in the power punch department.
Yeah, he has just landed very well with that hook, especially in the right hand.
There's a lead left hook by Esquivias. But that right uppercut continues to find its home in close. And Paulie, you mentioned it, Esquivias coming in, leaning in, and giving Marquez the opportunity to hit that target.
You want to see Esquivias use some boxing. You know, he said he went back to his old trainer because he was walking straight in and making those mistakes. A good right hand there by Esquivias. And he got Marquez's attention there. But, you know, and it started all because he circled Marquez first, you know, instead of just coming straight in like he was for about a minute before that, you know. And there it goes again. He's got to pick his shots, be in and out. He's got an old man in front of him.
So a more measured, composed Marquez off to a great start in his first fight in almost a year as we head to round 3. Earlier tonight, our Jim Gray had a chance to speak to one half of our main event, Chris Arreola.
Chris, you shattered your nose in about 4 places after your last fight. How is it going into this fight?
It's good, man. Everything's good. Blessed, got surgery, took about a month off, and it's good.
You went into the heat of the desert in Arizona to train, something much different than what you've done in the past. Are you in proper shape now for this fight?
I'm in great shape, honestly. I haven't been in this good of a shape since 2011, the year I fought like 5 times in a year. So I feel great, man. I feel very good.
You have said before this fight, if you lose to a guy like Seth Mitchell, you'll consider retiring. So obviously you're putting great weight and seriousness into this fight to try and get back into the division, correct?
No, absolutely. Not just to get back in the division, but to prove something, man. I need to prove something to myself, to all the fans, that I'm a real boxer, and I'm not shot. I'm not shot by no means.
Chris, best of luck. We'll talk to you after the fight.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Chris Arreola looking to redeem himself later tonight against Seth Mitchell. The heavyweights front and center on this Showtime Boxing Special Edition as round 3 between Rafael Marquez and Efrain Esquivias begins, with Esquivias going on the attack.
We should mention that Esquivias was very slightly over the weight limit of 126 pounds and had to come back and weigh in a second time, but it was a very negligent amount. So I don't think it's going to factor in too dramatically here. This is all about Esquivias getting through these rounds and seeing if he can get a tired Marquez later in the fight. But he's taken some punishment, even though he's found a home now for the right.
There's a right hand by Esquivias that tags Marquez. Marquez again, though, sneaks that right uppercut in, goes for the left uppercut.
Whenever Esquivias kind of starts leaning in there, Marquez always has a right uppercut there waiting for him. He's either got to make sure he doesn't lean in so much, or if he's going to do it, be ready to counter that right uppercut with a left hook of his own.
This fight now is turning into what, honestly, I thought we were going to get, because it's entertaining and it's interesting. And Esquivias, with a lot on the line, and as Paulie said, this is a guy who doesn't think he's here as an opponent, and he's not. He's working hard against Marquez. And this round especially.
With a jab in the middle. There's a right uppercut and left hook combination by Marquez. Right hand by Esquivias catches him.
And in this round, Esquivias, with our running total, according to the show stats, has thrown about 26 more punches than Marquez, so he's being very active.
He's got to still pick his shots. He's got to be careful with getting back into those old habits of just walking straight in.
Yep.
Not a lot of movement. Both are just standing in front of each other, throwing punches.
Don't push his head down. Don't hit him in the back. Right?
Seems like a cut in the left eye of Esquivias.
Yep, blood trickling down.
A lot of swelling there as well, yeah.
Marquez goes downstairs, under a minute remaining. There's a counter right by Esquivias.
That's twice he's done that now, rolling on that right hand and countering with his own right hand. He may have found something there.
That one may have momentarily stunned Marquez. But he's such a warrior, you never know.
And even, you know what it is, Al, even if it doesn't stun him, it gets his attention and makes him realize, hey, listen, I can't just throw carelessly right hands out there.
Great point.
Another
right hand by Esquivias, so beginning to find a home for the right. Double jab, and Marquez comes in close, so Esquivias, the more active fighter, Al, as you mentioned, a lot more punch output, although Marquez coming back now with a three-punch combination. And that was just above the belt line. That was close.
He just got to bend his knees when he goes going to go straight back like that. And there it is again. Rolls on that right hand and counters with his own right hand.
Stop at the belt, gentlemen.
So we are through 3 rounds of this featherweight contest. And it's time now to throw it back to an interview Jim Gray conducted earlier tonight with the other half of the main event, Seth Mitchell.
Seth, what are you going to have to do differently in this fight? Because you got a bit exposed against Banks in those couple of fights. Is there something you're going to have to do that's much different?
I definitely have to be more cognizant of my defense. I'm in there with a big puncher. He lets his hands go well, so I have to dictate. I have to fight when I want to fight. I got to dictate the pace of the fight, but definitely have to keep my hands up more, not lunge, not reach, and be very cognizant of my defense.
Has it bothered you what Arreola has said about you have to come into the ring with your football helmet and that you're a big step down for him? Has this bothered you at all?
Not at all. At the end of the day, him and I got to get into the ring. I got a great game plan, and as long as I implement my game plan, I think I'll be fine.
Seth, best of luck. We'll talk to you afterwards.
Thank you very much.
So Seth Mitchell, the former Michigan State Spartan, he may be emboldened by what happened earlier today as his alma mater defeated South Florida 21-6. He looks to knock off Chris Arreola and move one step closer to possible title contention as we move to round 4 of this featherweight affair between Rafael Marquez, the former two-division champion, and Efrain Esquivias. Marquez has recorded 28 of his 37 KOs within 4 rounds. But Esquivias giving a good account of himself in that 3rd round, but Marquez off to a better start here in round 4, although gets caught with the jab and a right hand.
And the key point is Esquivias has never been down as a pro.
Don't push his head
so
down.
if Marquez can't do that, we're going to head into the later rounds of a 38-year-old fighter who could have some issues. Esquivias is starting to come back a bit, so we'll see.
Conversely, Marquez has been down 5 times as a professional. The last time was in March of 2008 against his rival Israel Vasquez, one of the best series of fights you will see in the sport. And Al, I know you had the pleasure and honor of calling those battles, legendary affairs, and yet Esquivias putting himself in harm's way and doing well so far here, especially in the last round and a half.
He is picking up the pace, and he's varying his attack, Paulie. Right hands, left hooks, going to the body, jabbing up and down.
Yeah, you know, like I said, this kid's got a good pedigree, another lead right hand. You know, he's landed that the whole fight. And Al, you made a great point about the 38-year-old Eggs being late in a fight. If this fight keeps going at this pace where Marquez keeps taking these clean right hands, other clean shots, mostly those clean right hands that keep landing hard.
Oh, you know, there's a hard right hand by Marquez. Sorry, Paul.
No, it's okay. You know, he's fighting back, but at the same time, he's got to be careful because he'll be back in that same rut that he was talking about not falling into, where he's fading late because he's in a tough fight. Esquivias just tried that roll right hand again on the right hand by Marquez. He missed it, but again, he's starting to get Marquez's timing down little by little.
A minute left in the 4th round. Marquez on the ropes, attacking the body. A double left uppercut by Esquivias and finishes it off with a right hand to the body.
One thing to notice too in the last round and a half is Esquivias is getting more and more comfortable walking the old man down. You know, before Marquez would land some power shots and kind of make Esquivias uncomfortable. You started to think whether Esquivias should be boxing more, but now at this point he's actually getting comfortable walking Marquez down, and he's having success doing it.
And yet they're swelling around both of Esquivias' eyes, so there's still plenty of power in the featherweight Marquez as these two are fighting at close quarters.
And the danger of that swelling is it could impact this fight being stopped in behalf of Marquez. But great fight, really a fun fight to watch, and well fought.
Plenty of action, and you're right, a very technical affair, not a lot of wasted motion.
10 seconds,
plenty of accurate punching. So good tilt so far here through 4 rounds. Esquivias coming on.
Both men were able to land some very good rights. Esquivias has been effective with this punch throughout. He sets it up with a jab and lands it right there. He's also been able to land it as a counter punch as well. Marquez also has found a good home for this punch. That one, in his case, was a lead right over a very low left hand of Esquivias. But Esquivias, as the round went on, worked his way inside, and there's an example of the lead right. He didn't need a jab to set that up. And so that, and I think a varied attack by Esquivias may have won him that round.
Keep throwing that upper. Keep throwing that upper. Nice and strong. You come back with 2 hooks and then the upper. And protect yourself with that left hand.
Round 5 underway. We heard from Marquez's trainer, Nacho Beristain, who told us that he has agreed to work with Marquez under some conditions. If he doesn't look good in this fight, his advice for him will be to retire. He has signed a 4th fight deal with Golden Boy, but it's all contingent on how he looks tonight.
And, you know, they went into this round having thrown exactly the same number of punches, 279 according to show stats. The reason that's significant is because Marquez had done so much more in the first 2 rounds in terms of output, and Esquivias landing very well inside.
Esquivias continues to come forward, attacking the body. A left hook that just grazes off the rib cage by Marquez. Another stiff right hand by Esquivias.
All night with that right hand, Esquivias is he just can't miss it.
Straight right connects by Marquez, who also connects with a left hook to the head, but Esquivias comes forward like the bull.
What makes this fight fascinating at this point is we know Esquivias has a really good chin, never knocked down, and we know he's not a huge puncher, but so we're looking at some active rounds and maybe a lot of them. And a graphic example of how his number of punches, as I referenced before, is going up. In the last round, he threw a lot and landed a lot.
He's starting to back Rafael Marquez.
Punches.
He's starting to back up Rafael Marquez more and more.
Pops him in the proboscis with that straight right hand. Marquez backing up Esquivias, swarming him now. Marquez coming back a left hook, but another counter left by Esquivias and another straight right, and beginning to
he's feeling confident, man.
Wear down Marquez.
He's changing the angle even on the inside now. He's giving that little confident head movement, a little shoulder shake, moving his hands. Very confident is Efrain Esquivias right now.
Under 60 seconds left in the 5th, and Esquivias continues to build momentum. Marquez wisely circles away from the ropes, launches a right hand, but a quick counter right by Esquivias. This is a recording.
It's that same roll counter. I mean, it's like Marquez should at least be expecting it at this point and maybe be ready to counter that punch, you know, because he's thrown his own right hand. Esquivias rolls and throws his own right hand. I mean, at this point, Marquez should know it's coming and maybe be ready to counter it with a left hook.
And, you know, Esquivias has landed the left hook to the body and had a lot, and that body work now is having an impact on Marquez.
Yeah, look, he's bending him down like that. You're right, Al.
Esquivias and Marquez putting on a show through 5 rounds. And speaking of putting on a show, what about Peyton Manning Thursday night tying an NFL record with 7 touchdown passes? You can hear all about it fight is part of Inside the NFL, the Emmy-winning Inside the NFL with James Brown, Chris Collinsworth, and Phil Simms. New episodes every Wednesday at 9 p.m., but a great way to kick off the campaign as the defending Super Bowl champs Baltimore Ravens go down in the Mile City.
That was Madden football, 7 touchdown passes. Well, this has been a really excellent fight. And Esquivias, while not a monstrous puncher, lands a lot of power punches here tonight. I mentioned the left hook would be a good weapon for him. He landed it there, and then that right, which has been an even better weapon, gets in. He is feeling comfortable, as Paulie said, with being the aggressive fighter.
The bell and round 6. We're at the halfway point of this featherweight fight. Efrain Esquivias in the white with gold, taking on former two-division champion Rafael Marquez in the green with black, and immediately they continue to go at it, throwing punches in bunches, with Esquivias seeming to get the better of these exchanges.
He's got the faster hands, he's the busier guy, and he's walking the old man down now. And, you know, mentally that can also play a factor inside Rafael Marquez's head, because he's coming in knowing he's the bigger puncher. And now this guy who's supposedly a softer puncher is walking him down.
Esquivias started boxing when he was 15, had a little over 100 in amateur bouts.
These numbers are really significant. We've talked about the shift in this fight, and these show stat numbers really show it. Esquivias landing at close to 50%, and more importantly, throwing over 100 punches. He starts slow, but he finishes fast.
And the crowd here responding to the sustained action as Esquivias continues to wear down Marquez, jacking his jaw with the uppercuts and the straight right hands, but Marquez is in there. He is a warrior through and through.
Don't get off his head. Don't pull that head down.
Paulie made the point at the beginning. Esquivias is a very good fighter. He is not someone that came here just to get a payday.
And we should mention that 6 of Marquez's 8 career losses have come by stoppage.
And, you know, just watch how Esquivias changes the angles on the inside. I'm not even talking about the outside work.
Yep.
On the inside, he gives you a little bit of shoulder rolls. He uses both hands, sets up punches from both sides. Marquez is a bit confused. He's being outworked. And, you know, he just doesn't know how to get Esquivias off of him. You know, this is a guy who's used to his power of getting guys off of him, and Esquivias just won't get off him.
Dennis Hefner has made some nuanced changes with Esquivias. And Esquivias is slipping punches as well, Mark.
Yeah, Marquez feebly throwing out the jab. No steam behind it, although that was a nice left hook to the body. But a huge discrepancy as he gets his jaw jacked again by the right uppercut by Esquivias, who is using a versatile attack here to wear down a potential future Hall of Famer in Rafael Marquez, who at the age of 38, attempting to come back for the first time in almost a year. He said that retirement never crossed his mind, but you have to wonder, with the beating he's receiving at the hands of Esquivias, what the future may hold.
A lot of times the mind wants to go on, but the body just can't. You know, Rafael Marquez is giving fans tremendous wars and tremendous fights. And, you know, he's trying. He's just hard out here, but he's just being outworked by Efrain Esquivias and outskilled even.
10 seconds, 10 segundos. Stop at the bell, gentlemen. Para la campana.
So as we head to the 7th round, Efrain Esquivias continues to take it to Marquez.
You have to throw with velocity. With velocity, throw with velocity. More velocity, more velocity. Give me the bag. You have to throw, you have to throw. If you don't move your waist, it's not gonna happen. You gotta throw, you gotta throw.
Esquivias has landed just so many power punches in this, the fight in microcosm with that right hand. It comes out after a jab sometimes it comes as a lead punch, and then he gets into combinations. And really, about the 3rd or 4th round, he also started mixing in the left hook, did Esquivias. So it is a varied attack.
Thank you, Doc.
Trainer Nacho Beristain imploring Marquez to throw with velocity, but Paulie, we have Efrain Esquivias, who is battering his 38-year-old body and sapping Marquez of whatever power may be left.
And speaking of velocity, it's Esquivias' hands that have proven to be the faster ones tonight.
And what Beristain was trying to tell him, too, is he's throwing arm punches, Marquez. He's not moving his waist, as he said. He's not getting power into those punches. Well, this is when Esquivias put his head down at night after training sessions. This is how he dreamed of this fight going. Look at the combination punching by Efrain.
And he's dreamed of fighting someone like Marquez. He has a collection of his tapes, and who doesn't? I mean, Marquez has been involved in some of the most memorable battles in the sport. We talk about Vasquez. Of course, he beat Tim Austin when he was at his peak. Mark Johnson.
And, you know, Efrain promised his father, who passed away 7 years ago, he would win a world title someday, and he said, I want to make that promise come true. He's fighting like a champion tonight.
Marquez able to muster a very relaxed double jab, and you have to wonder how much is left in this legendary Warriors tank, as Esquivias now beginning to measure him up.
Well, he's got to make some adjustments here. Esquivias clearly made adjustments to him and to his style. We're yet to see any adjustments on Rafael Marquez's part.
Beautiful left uppercut, straight right hand combination by Esquivias. And now just battering away at his face.
The main adjustment would be to not get hit with so many straight right hands. I mean, Esquivias is landing the entire arsenal, but the right hands are landing almost every time.
And there's a right uppercut.
And the swelling around the eyes of Esquivias has been controlled by his corner.
Every time Marquez attempts to come back, he gets caught flush.
Now remember, Marquez is still a power puncher. He can still maybe land something to change this fight, but so far the big shots haven't hurt Esquivias.
And that's the thing, Al, Esquivias with a great chin as well.
Yes.
So, and the more Marquez wears down, the harder it'll be to summon up the power to knock him out, because, you know, a tired fighter punches less hard.
Esquivias never down. Of Marquez's 37 KOs have come in the 7th or later, and Esquivias continues to work away.
Marquez landed a good right hand there with his back to the rope. Esquivias took a step back and then got right back to work.
Final 30 seconds of the 7th round.
Watch the elbow, baby. Watch that elbow.
There doesn't appear to be any steam behind Marquez's punches at this stage, even though now putting together a combination. And of course, the crowd is going to react to every shot he throws, and here comes Marquez.
With a body shot Marquez did.
Listen for the ball.
So I spoke too soon as he tattoos Esquivias at the end of the round.
Marquez needed that. He needed to change something with the momentum.
Still lost the round. Rafael Marquez finding a way. I talked early in the round about sometimes he can get a power shot and it could change a fight. That left hook to the body did, and then he came with the left hook to the head. And once he had Esquivias in trouble, he pounced on him to try and make things happen. But all that happened very much toward the end of the last round. Will this minute in between help invigorate Esquivias? We can't have a bad fight on Showtime, I don't think. I think it's a contract.
Not this year, and Marquez displaying the heart of a champion at the end of round 7, but Esquivias comes back with a couple of right hands, countered by a stiff jab from Marquez, so let's see if that has reignited the flame for Rafael Marquez. Is again in close. They continue to tattoo each other. A couple of left hooks by Esquivias.
And I would think Marquez should go right back to the body, and there he is with the hook.
Watch your head, las cabezas, cuidado.
Marquez leaning in, trying to get to that body, but he's got to move his hands. And Esquivias will move his hands on the inside.
Yep.
And the crowd at the Fantasy Springs Casino exhorting Marquez with chants of his surname. And there's Esquivias who tattoos Marquez with a 4-punch combination.
I think Marquez may have felt that right hand to start that end that combination.
I think he's in some trouble right now.
He's hurt. If he's not hurt, he's at least buzzed. Got right backed up all the way to the ropes with some good sharp right hands from Esquivias.
And that right hand popped his head back like a Pez dispenser. Left uppercut by Esquivias, who works the body in close.
And give Esquivias credit, he hasn't abandoned the body attack either, and that's important for him.
Pocket punching. Forget about footwork. These two are standing toe-to-toe, going mano-a-mano and delivering another thriller here tonight.
A lot of times when you get hurt to the body, it reminds you to get your own body attack going out.
Yeah. Again, Esquivias throwing punches and bunches.
Tell you, when Esquivias throws those 3 or 4 straight punches all at once, Marquez just sits there like a sitting duck. He doesn't cut the distance and smother it. He doesn't step out, and he doesn't move his head. You know, there are times when Esquivias throws a 3-4 punch combination, all straight punches, and Marquez eats the whole thing. He just tries to keep his gloves up, but some of those right hands get through.
Under a minute left in the 8th round. Another strong round for Esquivias, looking to snap a 3-fight winless streak and claim the biggest name of his career. And Marquez hanging in there, wanting to make one last run at the age of 38, but he's in tough tonight.
And Esquivias has had a monstrous round. According to ShowStats, he's outlanded Marquez by 33 punches in this round.
Big right hand by Esquivias. Another counter right. That's been there all night, Paulie.
Yep. And Marquez just has not recognized it. If he throws that right hand from too far out, Esquivias counters it with his own right hand every time.
Another terrific 3 minutes for Efrain Esquivias as we head to round 9.
Great comeback round from Efrain Esquivias after getting hurt the round before.
Of course, tonight's action being broadcast in Spanish simulcast. Alejandro Luna and former champion Rafael Marquez, El Diamante, in the house.
He's the greatest, and of course, colleague on ShowBox as well. Esquivias had a tremendous round, as Paulie pointed out, coming back from being hurt right toward the end of the previous round. Straight punches, combination punching by Esquivias.
And you see that in just the beginning of that combination, he doesn't move his head.
And then later on in the round, more of that.
Sitting duck. Esquivias sets that distance and to throw those straight punches, and Marquez just doesn't adjust. You got to at least move your head from the outside like that.
And at the end of the round, Marquez in trouble.
Again, with that roll counter. That roll counter on the right hand that Marquez throws continuously from too far away.
Ninth round has begun. Mauro Ranallo, Al Bernstein, Paulie Malignaggi ringside, along with Brian Kenny and Jim Gray. Another terrific tilt, and down goes Marquez for the 6th time in his career.
Been landing all night.
5, 6, 7.
And it's over. Efrain Esquivias records the biggest win of his career, stopping former 2-time champion Rafael Marquez with that right hand that's been there all night long.
A great moment for Efrain Esquivias. Sad moment for a legend like Rafael Marquez. But again, you just can't be surprised. Those right hands were landing from within the first minute of the fight all the way to the end.
We asked him at the fighter meeting, Esquivias, and there's Dennis Hefner, who's reunited with them. We said, are you surprised they took you as the opponent for this? He said yes.
As the sun set here in the desert on the legendary career of Rafael Marquez, he and his older brother Juan Manuel, the first pair of Mexican siblings to both win world titles in 2 weight divisions, but his dreams of another world championship run have just been dashed.
He will be in the Hall of Fame. There is absolutely no doubt about it. It's a brilliant career, and if Nacho Berisstein's original comment is correct, this might be the end of it. We will look back on how this fight ended. Esquivias, who had been hurt a round before, a full round before, landed again, what else? The straight right hand, and Marquez never could really recover. And he is wobbly, and correctly, Raul Calif Jr. stops this fight. And at that point, I don't think anyone would argue with that. And we'll take a look again at the lead right that gets in there. And, you know, you landed that right in a variety of ways during this fight, both with the jab and also as a lead right hand.
And even off of some lead uppercuts,
yes.
left uppercuts, pick his head up, and he would throw straight right hand. Yeah, all night. I mean, he was landing the right hand, like you said, all kinds of ways.
And again, another look, and you see it's just right up the pike. And I said Esquivias was going to be more effective with the left hook. I was wrong, though he was effective with it. It's the right hand that got the job done tonight, and he's happy to get this win, whichever punch did it. And for him, just a brilliant moment. And for this man, Rafael Marquez, as we've chronicled, perhaps the end of his line.
Efrain Esquivias, California native. All of his fights have happened here in the Golden State, and a golden moment as he improves to 17-1 with his 10th victory via form of knockout. Let's go to Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 19 seconds in round number 9. A referee in charge, Raul Calif Jr. stops the contest. He is the winner by way of knockout, Efrain Esquivias.
Esquivias gets us off to a scintillating start here on Showtime. A look at the numbers. And really, they do tell the story of this fight, Al.
You know, early in the fight, Marquez had a big edge in terms of number of punches thrown after 2 rounds, but it started to change dramatically and clearly by the time we got to when this fight was stopped, the edge in terms of accuracy and numbers of punches for Esquivias.
Is Rafael Marquez. I thought he was going to be leaving the ring. I was going to say, is he leaving the ring for the last time? But we are going to perhaps get him an interview with Jim Gray, but I know Jim is standing by.
All right, Mo, thank you very much. Efrain, congratulations. How did you manage to turn this fight around after the first 2 or 3 rounds?
I already knew I'm a slow starter, and no matter what, I'm in hard. I knew I was going to start slow, and he caught me with really good shots. You see my eye. But as long as I finish strong, that's all that matters. 10 rounds.
To defeat a man who will be in the Hall of Fame at this point in your career, what does this mean to you?
It means everything. I have all respect to Rafael. He's one of my favorite fighters. I became an instant fan when he beat Tim Austin. I was an instant fan. Tú eres el mejor. Tú eres el gran campeón.
Tú eres el mejor y ya lo vio, nunca nadie me había noqueado. Y creo que esta vez fuiste tú.
Tell us what's being said.
He said he's never been knocked out, and I'm the only one that did like the way I did today.
Buen peleador, te felicito. Nadie lo había hecho, ni los mejores campeones del mundo. Y él lo acaba de hacer.
He said nobody's ever knocked him down, the best boxers ever, but this time Esquivias did it.
You have long time been a fan of this man. You have an entire collection of his tapes. How much have you learned from him?
Yo era un fan de usted. Cuando ganó Tim Austin, yo andaba bien feliz. Y ahora nomás para andar en ring ando más feliz, pero nomás andado contigo. Te respeto mucho, eres un gran campeón.
Please tell us what you're saying.
I told him I became an instant fan when he beat Tim Austin. And now I'm in the ring with him, but I'm still a big fan. He's a huge fan. He's a great champion.
Rafael, let me ask you, this defeat at this time, what will you do now?
Con esta derrota, ¿qué va a hacer entonces, Rafael?
Bueno, lo voy a pensar si realmente continúo o me retiro del boxeo.
He's going to really think about it if he's going to continue or if he's going to retire from boxing.
Did you feel as though early in this fight that you were going to be able to dominate this fight and win? It went very well in the first couple, 2-3 rounds.
¿Tú pensabas que en los primeros rounds iba a dominar esta pelea?
Sí, pensamos que iba a ordenar, que realmente el primer round fue donde salió adelante y tiró los mejores golpes. Y creo que desde ahí pensé que era buen peleador.
Yeah, in the first round I threw the best punches and I thought that there was a chance that I would knock him down early.
How tough is it for you to have been such a great champion and now to be in this type of a position?
Qué difícil es ser un gran campeón y ahora estar en esta situación esta noche.
Bueno, son las cosas. Realmente cuando agarras el título del mundo, vas arriba. Y ya después que vas arriba, quieres ser lo mejor. pero lástima que pasan estas cosas.
That's how it goes. Sometimes when you're on the top, you want to be the best, and then when you're going downhill, this is the things that happened.
You've been a great champion, and all of us at Showtime and boxing fans around the world have enjoyed your career immensely.
Ha sido un gran boxeador y aquí nosotros todos en Showtime de verdad que te felicitamos.
Muchas gracias a todos y gracias por el apoyo a toda la gente.
Thank you, and for all the fans, thanks for the support through the years.
Efrain, this was a hero of yours. What would you like to do now?
I want Leo Santa Cruz, Leo or any champion at 122. I want a shot at the title. I had my shot, and unfortunately I came up short, but I changed things up, and you guys see the type of fighter I am.
Congratulations. Terrific win.
Thank you, thank you. And Carson! Woo!
All right, Mo, back to you ringside.
Thanks a lot, Jim. Great stuff there between this legendary warrior, Rafael Marquez, and Efrain Esquivias picking up his biggest win to date. As we take a look at the scores, the official scores at the time of the stoppage, this may make you scratch your head.
This is interesting, at very least. 77-75 by two of the judges, and Pat Russell, who's a fine judge and a fine referee, but I'll tell you what, he's wrong. He's just wrong. That was not a draw, and I think even 70-75 you could take issue with. So it was important for Esquivias to get that knockout, I guess, although he still would have won a majority decision at that point, at the point of the stoppage. Now, how did we have it? I'm guessing we had it a little more. Well, okay, let me talk to my colleague Steve Farhood. Now that I've castigated the draw, you explain to me why you had a draw.
Al, Pat Russell is a very smart man.
Yeah, apparently.
I gave Marquez the first 2 rounds. I thought he started quickly, as I think we all did. And then that 7th round was a swing round because Marquez rallied big time at the end. I gave him that round. I think, Al, you didn't. So I gave him one other round along the way. I had it even. But to sum things up, when you're an older fighter, they say the power is the last thing to go. I can't believe Marquez had as little power as he did in this fight. It never surfaced, and the power was the first thing to go in this case with him.
Yeah, good point, except for that one body shot. All right, let's take one last look at the knockout, and I'm never going to be invited to Steve Farhood's house again for dinner, or Pat Russell's. Here is the knockout with the lead right hand. It was the story of the night.
Yep, it was the story of the night. He was landing it all night. Like you said before, Al, he landed it in different ways, set it up in different ways, and very creative.
Yep, that's for sure, and it was a huge night for Esquivias. Might get him a world title shot, we don't know.
And let's give Esquivias credit for his chin. You know, Marquez may not have lost the power. It may be Esquivias' chin as well. He's never been stopped.
You got it, Paulie. That's absolutely the case. And for this young man, a superb moment, and those moments with Marquez in the ring afterwards, of course, were priceless.
All right, a great start yet again here on Showtime when it comes to the sweet science. Brian, what did you think?
Yeah, I think Al Bernstein should definitely lead the investigation into Steve Farhood, at the very least, fellas. Listen, Rafael Marquez, you guys summed it up well, but this is a guy who beat Mark Too Sharp Johnson twice, and then, short time after, ended the long reign of Tim Austin. That's saying quite a bit, but that was a full 10 years ago. Perhaps it's best that he learns that it's the end tonight rather than wading into even more dangerous waters and taking on someone like Leo Santa Cruz. Our main event is coming up next. And his opponent across the ring on my left, fighting out of the blue corner in this 10-round attraction, wearing black trunks with green trim, hailing from Mexico City, Distrito Federal, Mexico. He weighed in the same as his opponent, 126 pounds. His record stands at 41 wins, 8 losses, with 37 big wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, making his return to the ring, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former IBF Bantamweight World Champion and the former WBC Super Bantamweight Champion of the World, introducing Rafael Marquez. Once again, a referee in charge, now to give instructions, Raul Cais Jr.
Fighter chief second only, please. Protector. Let's go, Efrain. Chief second, please. Mouthpiece. All right, gentlemen, you received the instructions in the dressing room. It is not clear what I expect. Ya recibieron las instrucciones, quiero una pelea limpia. Legal punches, For here on up, touch gloves, good luck to both of you. Buena suerte los dos.
So we are set for 10 rounds or less in the featherweight division. Rafael Marquez back in the
two-division world champion Rafael Marquez returning to the ring against Efrain Esquivias in a 10-round featherweight contest. Morrow, take it away.
All right, BK, former two-division champion Rafael Marquez solidified his status as a consummate warrior thanks to his legendary rivalry with Israel Vasquez. But since evening the four-fight series with his Mexican compatriot, the 38-year-old Marquez has gone just 2-3. However, retirement hasn't crossed his mind, and he's back with Hall of Fame trainer Nacho Beristain as he hopes to make one last run at a championship. Meanwhile, his opponent Efrain Esquivias hopes to derail those plans and claim the biggest victory of his career here in his native California, where the 2006 National Golden Gloves champion at 119 pounds has fought exclusively as a pro. Checking out the numbers for this opening contest.
Well, for Rafael Marquez, he has a reach advantage, but the question is, will he use it? He likes to fight it inside, but that key number is age 38. Can he still be effective at this point?
And the California rules for our first bout. There is no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. The referee or doctor can stop the fight. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round. If an accidental foul or headbutt causes a fight to end before the start of the 4th round, it's a technical draw. After the start of the 4th round, they will go to the scorecards for a technical decision. We are ready for our first bout, so let's go into the ring for the official introductions from our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you and welcome to Fantasy Springs Resort Casino here in Indio, California. As we have a big night of action coming away, and it's all brought to you by Golden Boy Promotions and Showtime. Sponsored by Corona, La Cerveza Más Fina, and AT&T, the nation's fastest and now most reliable 4G LTE network. This bout is presented in conjunction with Thompson Boxing Promotions. Introducing our 3 judges, all from the state of California. From Mesa, Pat Russell. From Baldwin Park, Fernando Villarreal. And from Chula Vista, Fritz Werner. Presenting our 3rd man to the ring, the referee in charge, Raul Cais Jr. All right, fans, here we go. 10 rounds of boxing scheduled in a featherweight special attraction. Introducing to you first on my right, he is fighting out of the red corner, wearing white trunks with gold trim, fighting out of and representing his home of Carson, California. He weighed in at the featherweight limit of 126 pounds. His record of 16 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw. He has 9 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former NABF Super Bantamweight champion, introducing Efrain Esquivias.
Flush.
One thing to keep in mind, Esquivias has found a home for that right hand a couple of times now in the first minute and a half. Be interesting to see if Marquez can make an adjustment, because you don't want to get hit with too many of those clean, straight right hands.
Double jab by Marquez. Gets through the high guard of Esquivias. Again lands the jab, grazing off the face. There's Esquivias countering with a straight right through the guard. Another stiff jab by Marquez. Under a minute remaining in the first round.
Stop! Break! No punch. Here we go. Box.
Uppercut by Marquez, and finishes a nice 3-punch combination with a right hand.
And that all started because Esquivias kind of leaned down too far and reached out with that jab to the body. It's a good weapon to mix that jab up and down, but you don't want to reach with it.
Another stiff right uppercut by Marquez.
And that's a punch Esquivias has been subject to or vulnerable to in the past.
30 seconds left in the opening round. A good start here between Marquez and Esquivias. Lead right hand by Marquez. Another right hand, and this time comes back with the left uppercut.
It's all about Esquivias getting through these first couple of rounds. And Marquez has been very effective toward the end of this round.
Esquivias just missed the right cross, but plenty of action to begin the proceedings. Boxing ring for the first time in 11 months, coming off a 9th round knockout in his last fight last October against former junior bantamweight champ Christian Mijares. Meanwhile, Esquivias is coming off a 2nd round technical draw against Victor Sanchez in his last fight on June 28th. That was stopped due to a cut.
Box.
As a result of an accidental headbutt, the bell and round 1 underway. Marquez in the green with black trunks. Esquivias sports the white with gold.
Esquivias is normally a slow starter, and of course, Rafael Marquez is notoriously a quick starter, so we'll see how that plays out.
Interesting point out, because yesterday Marquez had also talked about trying to remain composed and calm, so it'll be interesting to see if he goes back to his old ways or if he tries to establish some sort of jab and try to remain calm and pick up the pace as each round goes along, like he told us he would yesterday.
Yeah, he says he starts fast but has faded down the stretch, and he hopes that working once again with Hall of Fame trainer Nacho Badestein is going to help that cause. So we shall see, as the opening minute of this bout has Esquivias going downstairs to the body, shoots out the right, and lands a left hand and a nice right hand to the head of Marquez. So a good 1-2 combination by Esquivias.
Esquivias is a busy fighter. He's not a huge puncher, but his work rate is good in the ring, and he hopes that is one of the things that could carry him here. And so far early in this match, he's throwing a lot of punches.
Left hook to the body by Marquez, but it was immediately countered by an overhand right by Esquivias that landed